Leo, will you lead us in the pledge? For approval and discussion. Discussion of the proposed Pike County 2017-2018 budget. Brian, will you start with their recommendation?
Yeah, real quick, I'll start. I'd like to say we're here to talk about the 17-18 budget. I got some notes. My notes changed all through the day today by sitting down to work, but I'll do this best I can. Kind of what we suggest is this. John, the judge, and I have met over the past several weeks comparing our current budget that we're into, the 16-17 budget, to the new proposed budget that we're here to talk about today, the 17-18 fiscal year budget. Years past, everybody here knows and understands that we've had cuts and layoffs, and we've done a lot of transition here in the county. I'd like to say this year's meetings that we've had has been by far the most optimistic meetings that we've had here at the county. You know, kind of what I would like to ask is the court to leave this year's budget close to the same as last year's. This year we're finishing the 16-17 budget was an outstanding budget, considering our estimated revenue and expenditures both came in as estimated. We've worked hard over the past year adjusting our insurance premium payments down, giving our budget a $300,000 decrease. The only changes I'd like to ask for in this year's budget is taking those savings, those $300,000 savings, and applying it to the most productive places throughout this county. And I kind of got a wish list here. I'll go over there's 5 items. Item number 1, we need to upgrade our elections booths with memory cards. Not only do we need to do it, we're mandated by law, we have to do it. We got quotes in from Harp Enterprises that consist of $28,009.05. Number 2, I believe, when I wrote this down, I wrote I believe, now I know, we will have a 3% increase in our Blue Cross Blue Shield for our insurance premiums this year. Understand it started off at 11%, we got it down to 8%, then we finally got it down to 5%. I played hardball with them this morning, got it down from 5 to 3%. I think that's the very best we're going to get, and that's going to be an increase of right around $39,000.
That's on the health insurance?
It's on health insurance, Bobby. 3, you know, one thing that I'm proud of this court and what we've done over the past year and a half is upgrading a lot of our equipment. We've upgraded a lot of our solid waste equipment over the last year and a half through our packers, mini packers, compactors. And believe it or not, buying them new equipment has lowered our maintenance costs associated with those pieces. We've got one other place in the county, it's the animal shelter. Just this morning alone, I gave them the Jeep out of the judge's office so they could go out and pick up and serve the county. I would like to ask for a $28,000 line item for the Pike County Animal Shelter so they could purchase a new vehicle out of that $300,000. 4, by streamlining our workforce, combining jobs, and cutting other expenditures here in the county, we've been able to reduce our total payroll. These numbers is based on the 14-15 year to current. From 14-15 fiscal year, our total payroll, this is just net going out to the employees, was $8.5 million annually here at the county. This year, it's $7.2 million. That's $1.3 million that we've saved right here in the county, just on payroll. I think it's safe to say that our employees here at the county has took the majority of these cuts and cutbacks here at the county. I'm asking for a 2% cost of living adjustment across the board for all county employees. If we do the 2% across the board, cost of living adjustment, it would be a total of $170,000 annually. Fifth and final thing is we got a 911 emergency management center located over at the Hall of Justice building on the 4th floor. If you haven't seen it, I'd ask anybody that desires to reach out, go over there and look at it. It is state of the art. It's nice. It's something that this county uses. I've been in it several times since I've been in the capacity of my position now, managing the county. It's a place that when you need it, you need it. It does not have a generator. If there's a disaster comes, they're actually running the 911 office with a flashlight. We've reached out. We have the generator. We have the breaker box. We have everything associated with putting a generator in on the 4th floor over there. Only thing that we don't have is conduit and wiring going up from the 4th floor to the generator. We've got estimates from Elliott Contracting totaling right at $18,000 to put a generator on the 4th floor. If you add all 5 of them items up, it totals $283,760.05. That is the $300,000 of the savings that we had on our insurance premium tax.
What was that last total on the generator? What was it?
It's $18,751.
And then the total was what?
The total of all added together, Master, it is $283,760.05. And to finish up, and I'll hush, you know, I want everyone to understand that if this is the direction the county goes in, we are not adding 1 penny, 1 cent, $1 to our budget. We're simply using monies that we saved over the last year and putting out into the county in what I believe is the most productive ways. Any questions, any thoughts, anything anybody
Yeah,
wants
I've got one, Brad. Are we allowing for our rehire of the man that we lost in this budget?
No, I mean, if we look at that, we'll have to go back to this list and back off him.
I know that was one of the things we were hoping to do, is get back our workforce back to what it used to be, like a 6-man crew. You know, we're operating right now in a rainy, wet season. The weeds are taking over, and we're trying to pothole with 5 men. It's pretty rough.
It's tough.
With the areas that we have to cover. And I was hoping that we could have enough money to put that employee back to work, but.
You ready to go in?
If I may, Judge, this item that Brian mentioned on the 2% cost of living raise, I've been associated with county government now 10, going on 11 years. In all that time, I can remember 2% cost of living raise. Is that correct?
That's one thing I left out. The last cost of living raise that any county employees had was July of 2009 was the last increase. So basically, if you was hired in at the Pike County Fiscal Court in 2009 at $12 an hour, 8-9 years later, you're still working at the Pike County Fiscal Court for the same amount of money.
What was it gonna cost to bring that man back?
Roughly, Hillman, John, you can help me with that number, but it seems like to me it's close. If you add one back to each road lot at a 3H rate of pay, you're probably, with benefits and all, you're probably looking at $250,000.
Isn't that's something we can look at in the next quarter or something like that? If everything's going good, we could.
You know, Leo, absolutely. One of the things I like to say is, man, I mean, we truly did such a great job this year on watching our expenditures, watching everything that we spent. We did a great job last year estimating our revenue coming in, and I really, truly believe this is the transitional stage. I'm not going to talk about any other county, but you can look at counties close or near to us, and they are right now really going through they're going through hardships, you know, and here we are. I mean, we really had a good year, and I think it's something we can look at.
That's what I say, I go along with everything you're suggesting there, and it sounds good, and then, like I said, in a quarter down the road, we could look at maybe getting a man back or something then.
I mean, I think, and while John is looking at that, I need to talk about one other thing. I reached out to Rhonda Taylor, our county
Give us
clerk,
that
and
$300,000.
I asked her to get me together some numbers on maybe giving her a supplement on maybe going out and opening out the satellite offices. She's got some numbers together. We've received the numbers. Me and John is still working on the numbers. It's something that I think may be possible. It may not be possible, but by the time that we have our next meeting with the first reading, I'll be able to update you on if we can do anything on a supplement towards Rhonda.
All right, the money that we give to the jailer and the sheriff and stuff, that's going to stay the same.
Yeah, well, I think the jail budget went up 100,000, didn't it, Jonda? The jail budget's exactly the same, which I think he's working on a really good budget. I mean, I think his budget last year was 4.3 million, and it's going to 4.4 something this year. It's staying the same. Yeah, everything else in the budget
Stays the same.
stays the same.
Is that including the supplement or taking all the supplement out?
It includes everything we supplemented last year.
So you're gonna go back with a supplement?
We
See, we said last year that would be the last of the supplement, wasn't it?
on who, him?
On the sheriff and the clerk and the jail. But wasn't we,
No. The sheriff, when he proposed his budget, had the 275 in there. And if you'll remember, I said, you know, providing that the court could do it, but we've always been told if we approve his budget, basically we're gonna have to commit to it, because he said it would be hard for him in the middle of the year to try and cut that much out of his budget. So yes, we're funding him for what he's already submitted for the 17 year, but no, we never said we weren't going to not supplement him.
well, I know we cut Rhonda's supplement out last year, didn't we?
Correct.
So is it back in?
Well, that's
No.
what I.
We've been working on a number. The number she proposed is a little high.
Is the sheriff's supplement in there?
Yes, sir.
So how are we gonna give one and not the other?
Well, we did it for a year.
Well, you know, I just think whatever we do for one, we ought to try to do for the other. And on the other hand, we're cutting our staff short on our workforce. So, you know, that supplement is something that
We've not had a chance to sit down and talk to her, because based on that, to open up 3 satellite offices with 4 employees, she's wanting $32,400 per employee for them to go to those areas.
Well, I'd like to have one of our employees back on each lot, but we can't get them.
But that's more than what your employee costs too. She's asked him for $346,000 to do her to the end of her term. She's also got in there $96,000 for health insurance, which for 4 employees is $1,133, isn't it, per
Yeah.
month?
Yeah, I gave this sheet over there.
What she's requesting is more than we took away from her for as many employees as she let go.
Yeah, I've reached out to her, Hillman, and I asked her to get this list together, and I've talked to her one time after, and I'm hoping between now and the next time we meet, which will be next Tuesday, that Jonda and myself and the judge and
$275.
$275.
But you got to remember, he doesn't bring in as much revenue as she does. And she's been running hers based on what she's got without a supplement
Well, her
and not
norm-
being in the red much.
Her normal supplement was what, 150?
No, 225.
225?
Correct.
Hers?
Yes. Isn't that right, Frankie? 225?
What's the jailer's?
275.
The sheriff's 275. We don't supplement the jail, we fund the
The
4.4
jail, we
million.
supplement millions of dollars to it.
Yeah.
Millions, 8. There ain't no way you
Have
can,
you figured in for Scott, or is that out?
there's a,
Still working for nothing, ain't he?
there is money in the judge's office, salaries for unemployment.
There's one worked in
That
there.
would be the judge's recommendation. He's not told me, he just asked me to add money there. He didn't tell me who or what, so I'm assuming it's for Scott, but I don't know.
So we're talking a $500,000 supplement for the sheriff and the clerk.
Yes,
275 and 225.
correct.
Now, does this supplements in all the counties, or is this just an extra?
I think,
It's extra.
it's extra, but if I'm not mistaken, Hillman and John Doe, he may be able to answer
Most
that.
counties,
Yeah.
most counties, we're of the 9 to 11 counties that are considered grandfathered into the 75-25. And the state allows them to run in the red by advancing them money, which is why the state auditors told us to start looking at the 2550 reports, because if that goes over, they're saying now it's the county's responsibility, just as things that happened with the sheriff in the previous term. That's the downfall to them turning their money in there. They give us 25% back, and which helps us to run our budgets with. The sheriff gave us back $297,712.69, and she gave us back $359,410, which we use inside our budget to help with our expenses. The way the other counties work of the 200 or the 110, if there's 10 in our situation with the 75-25, is the counties actually budget with inside their budget and tell them what they're going to allow them to be paid and control what their money comes in. They turn everything over to the county instead of it being turned over to the state. And we set their salaries, and we do everything based on what the revenue we have coming in versus the expenses going out.
I know it's important that we get these offices opened back up. You know, we got people out in the county that,
But that rate is also larger than what you all paid your
well,
assistants
I
too.
understand that, but there's got to be some reasoning and working together to get this thing
That's what we were
back on
saying.
target.
We've not had a chance to talk with her to see what the bare minimum bones that she could afford for a year, or, you know, we can't guarantee the 18 months, I don't think, in this budget, but what could it to take to open them back up realistically?
And I would like to also add, Hillman, that we did reach out to her and ask her for these numbers. We're trying to work with her. We're trying to accommodate. I understand how important it is to open them satellite offices. But we got a lot of people going out of county paying their taxes, and we need it paid right here in Pike County. But we was the one that reached out to her.
Also, Brian, you know, it's important that we reach out and cut people's weeds and pothole patch. And,
Absolutely.
you know, we're operating on a skeleton crew with no hardly money to work with, and the weeds are getting so high with the rain and pothole patching, and our budget, you know, is we got to look at it all. Like Bill said one time, at the whole picture, and
The whole picture.
you know,
And up until 20 years ago, there was only a 6-man crew too. Donna's the one who allowed those part-time people to be put on full-time when we were going through some good times.
I wished you were out there to see what they do.
I'm just saying, you all
I'm
used
just
to run a
telling you,
six-man crew.
I'm out there watching them and knowing they're doing what they can with, sit down, with what they can do with, you know. It's hard when you got a district that reaches all the way across the county and take 5 men and get the needs for the people. I mean, it's really tough, John. I know you're doing all you can do, and we're just trying to, I'm just trying to point out some important things for the people.
If I may, Judge, John, in the last fiscal year, how did the jail's budget turn out? We put that money in our budget, and didn't the jail go over that budgeted amount by a couple
Last year they did.
couple of $100,000? And are you looking at any projections for this year, how they're going to come out with their budget?
Better than last year, but it's because of, you know, everybody working together to try and keep that number down as to what we need to transfer. And whenever Brian Farrell brought me the report the other day, I asked about the jail canteen money, and he said he'd get it. And I said, well, I was just hoping I'd get some. Remember you said you was gonna pay us the
That's the
$90,000?
$90,000 to offset healthcare costs. Thank you.
Routine medical for the jail.
John, another thing about the jail, you know, we can keep talking about the jail all we want, but they've got probably 60 to 70 people out there working every day for the county. And, you know, we
They've got
supplement a lot
48 or 49 is what's employed at the jail.
out on work release.
Work release, okay.
And, you know, you see all the work they do for us, and I know supplement might sound bad, but,
I
you
wouldn't
know, if we had to hire people to do what they're doing, I don't know where we'd have enough money in the budget to take care of it.
There's no way we'd have enough money. No, be impossible.
I see them out there doing things, and I know what they do, and I appreciate them for out there helping bring up the loose ends. I mean, it's something that's really helpful.
So what was the direction of that?
Well, you said we supplemented the jail $200,000 or $300,000, and you know,
I said
know
1.8,
we
I
do. You know, I'm not downing you. I'm just telling you the important the use that we have for these inmates that we're using, and Paul can witness to anytime he calls and needs something done to help him, they're there, ain't they, Paul?
You back for the summer, ain't you?
And, you know, mowing and whatever they need them doing. I mean, Paul has took 3 of the men.
If they have 100,000 in surplus, is what's in this budget that was presented the other day, they would need 1.331709 from the county. I mean, there is no way that jail is going to ever make its budget.
It never has and never will.
Correct.
But I'm just expressing my opinion on how important
You know, I wish
the
we didn't
jail
have to give
workers
them that.
are.
I'm just
You know,
saying.
we had a mowing crew that we laid off, and Paul has took the inmates and brought the slack up with them, and I guess they're doing you a good job, ain't they, Paul?
Johnny, did you calculate what bringing one back would be, the total cost on each road crew?
I'm getting there.
All right, thank you.
If during all of this, trying to do both things, looks like it's 246,000. It's 245, 786.29 to bring 6 people back. It would cost 158,865.42 at the 3H pay rate of 1273. Correct. And that doesn't include, this is on the projections without the 2% increase too, so
But we
it would be
couldn't-
more than that.
We couldn't do both. If we brought them back, we'd have to drop the 2%, so it's one or the other.
What would happen with the insurance?
Well,
Because that was played in there too with the 270.
Well, you just have to take up the rest, and the rest of it we'd scratch.
What was that total again, John, on the 6 million, bringing them back?
$245,786.29. I did figure in the 3% increase on health insurance is $615.24 times 6 employees times 12 months, and that was like $44,297.28. Did I do that one right? I got confused on some of this here. 6 equal. Yeah, $44,297.28 for 6 employees' health insurance, $12,153.20 for their FICA, and $30,470.39 for their retirement, because retirement's going to 19.18% from 18.81, was it? 18.68. So it's going up almost half a percent. So that all totals the 245 or 246.
So basically, what's on the table is going forward, we can bring a man and put back on each road lot, which would serve a purpose and very much needed. We have to put the $28,000 in for the upgrade of the memory cards from the voting booths, and the $39,000 for the 3% increase for the Blue Cross Blue Shield, which puts us at $314,000. That puts us over 14,000 from the 300 savings, but it's doable. No, but, yeah, it takes out the other ones, but it does bring back the one man on each road lot. And like I said, the memory cards for the voting booths and the 3% increase. I know we got a court meeting scheduled next Tuesday, and if we could get some direction on the direction to go in, I'd like to have everything ready and John to have everything put together so we could have the first reading then, and we're done with budgeting. No, but me and John do a work on the Rhonda supplement between now and then.
Brian, I didn't bring your stuff up to
Oh, I know.
bother y'all's plans. I just, the needs that I feel like we have in the county is us to try to look at.
I didn't take it, nothing
You can't
carried
do it
over.
if you ain't got money,
If
I
the
understand.
court
Well, here's the
asked
thing,
them
Human,
to
I
make a
don't
motion to
think.
Put it back in there.
I don't think we're bickering. I think we're sitting here discussing the best possible way to spend $300,000 that we saved, and it's positive.
It don't go very far, does it?
It doesn't, and, I just think it's important that we keep the budget as close this year as we had last year. Because, I just want to make sure moving forward that it's a productive, workable budget.
I'm gonna make a motion that, last year only took $75,000 out of my budget, because I had some, road department, so I need to put it needs to be put back in my budget. The motion.
I'm sorry, Master Johnson, you can't make that motion at this special meeting. It's not on the agenda. This is for a budget discussion. I'm just telling you what the law
Didn't
is.
take
We
it,
we
it was
cannot
not
take
carried
that item of
forward
business
because
up
we
today. We
didn't
can
have
do
the
it next
money to
Tuesday.
work with.
I thought this what we was talking about, a budget.
Well, that's right. You can talk about it and say, I would like to have that done, but you can't make a motion to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Dick, that money you're talking about is done gone. They took all of our monies and piled them together and fixed the budget last year.
Do
out
you
of it.
know how hard it was to come with any money left in the bank last year? And to be in the shape we're in this year, and then when you do have it, it's, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. You might as well not do nothing and just forget about it and put us back to where we're worrying about from month to month what we're going to do with things. You know, it feels good not to have to be worried about laying people off and doing things detrimental when you see Letcher County's about to go bankrupt. Floyd County
I don't know
going
what you're.
bankrupt. I mean,
don't
we
know where
have
you're- I
done
don't know
a
where you're
lot
coming
in the
from. I was
last.
trying to take up for you a little bit. I said all of our monies went together for the budget to be able to close that year out with a balanced budget. But now, if you want to take this 300,000, put it in the rainy day fund, that might be the best solution. Just don't do anything. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
It's not what I want to do, but everything just keeps growing and growing and growing. And
Well, there's two things we have to do, as I understand it. One is the voting machine upgrade, because the law requires that. So you might as well write that down.
Yeah,
And the other thing is the 3% increase of your health insurance. I mean, if we're going to have health insurance, we've got to pay the premium. You got to pay the piper. So that's two things, and the rest of it is up to this court.
Well, I'll break the ice.
I don't know, have we ever heard anything about the $400,000 from the RCC Big Show?
Jeff, we've been in touch with them, and you ask this every court meeting, and I'm going to repeat it again. They have met, the engineers have been on site. It looks like it's moving forward, but the $400,000 this court will not get anyway. If they wrote a check today for $400,000 plus interest, it wouldn't go into the general revenues of this county, John.
it goes back into the recaptured funds.
That's
That's
right.
where it
Right.
come from.
I mean, I was just curious. I don't
With
think,
stipulations that have to be approved by Department for Local Government as to
Right.
what the proceeds can be used for.
I was just asking. I'm not interested. I mean, it'd be great if we could get the money. I just wondered if that money that we voted to give them is, you know, if that project, number one, it doesn't look like it's going to be spent in Pike County. And my understanding was they were supposed to be giving us some financial statements, and I'd just like to see where the money's being spent.
I would too, and we've asked and asked, but we have not received. Last week we asked, okay?
You speak to one of the owners?
We're, the two people that are developing the project, whatever their titles are, I'm not sure, but they came up and met, I may have already reported this, if so, forgive me, with Brian and I. We had a lunch up at the Landmark, or whatever they call that restaurant now, and a very productive meeting. I think they're proceeding, this is my opinion, and it's worth about nothing, but my opinion is it's moving forward. I think they're moving forward in good faith, and I know this, if we start a civil action or even criminal proceedings for fraud, which the Commonwealth Attorney has mentioned, he's following this matter also. I think if we do that, I think this project may not go at all. I think it just might upset the apple cart, but that's my opinion.
Well, and I respect that. I just like to, you know, if somebody promises financial statements, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for them.
Brian, we need to get in executive session.
And on that list, Brian, you hadn't,
I'll break the ice. It's good to have Mason back. Yeah, Mason's back.
and we haven't even addressed the 120,000 if we need to get a roof on this building, because the floor is getting washed away by all the leaks that we have that they've never been able to fix over the last few years, which upon Terry Rogers' recommendation is we need a whole new roof on this facility. And Frankie's got one bad one that's over him that is right on his computer and everything. And we can't afford to lose our equipment up there.
Hey, Jenny, what you calling that, on that grader, you know? And, one just it didn't have a cab on it or something, did you? Picture he shows it's got a cab on
Great,
it.
surplus grader.
Jackie, give him that paperwork, please.
Yeah, you want it?
What?
What's that?
That grader Chick's wanting to purchase.
Probably old, it's probably old.
It's got a good age to it, 85 model. That's a big negative where you can find parts. But the positive is, if that's a true thing, is 600 and some hours, that's almost like new.
It's that Army, one of them Army.
And according to that picture, it's got a cab. Now, somebody told Chick it didn't have a cab on it.
She's the one told me it didn't have a cab on it.
Nah, it's probably a cab grader. I never seen one without a cab. Yeah.
I'd say it's illegal to have it on the cab these days.
What do you want for it, Jack? 35?
30,000.
30? It's got low hours on it. I'd say it's not being used much. And,
I've been doing that one for a year, so
well, you need to buy you one.
that's why I want to buy.
You got the money there.
That's what I'm wanting to do. Let's get
10-4. We got another deal down there since we're talking about some equipment. They got 2 brooms down there. It's $1,500 apiece to clean your hard top, which in order to get your asphalt when you put surfacery back on it, you need to have it good and clean. Be good to tack and have a tack machine too. But they got 2 for $1,500 each. So Leo was wanting to get one, and I was talking to Bobby, and he'd like to get one. So that's another something we may need to look at while they still got it down there. Because
When are
once you
you
do a
wanting
hard top, spend the money. If you
When are you
don't
wanting to
clean the
go?
road good or put tack on, you really got a problem. Don't do good.
When are you wanting to look at this, Jackie Darrell?
Say again.
When are you wanting to look at this inventory?
I was going to go, me and the foreman was going down and look at the brooms. I just got the thing on Chick there today. But maybe one day next week, go down and look at them.
So you wouldn't need approval today, you'd just wait till next Tuesday at that court meeting for approval to issue a check?
I don't know, that's up to the court there, I guess. If the equipment looks good and stuff, and the guy said the brooms, one of them's, they all have a little wire on, but the broom was, one of them's real good shape.
That's there if you want it.
I don't know if they'd hold them for us, we just told them, because other people may want them too, I don't know. So I don't know if they'll hold us for us on the word, say we're gonna take it or look at it, it would probably be feasible in a way if you could appropriate the money if we checked it out and looked good and Chick wants it and then.
$1,500 each for the sweepers
Right.
for $3,000.
We have not got that on the agenda
That's
either.
right, we can't do that.
And we cannot,
Sorry about that,
Treasurer's
John.
can't take any action on approving anything.
Okay, that's fine with me, wait till Tuesday next week, I don't. That settles that.
All right, I think we need to, we need to appropriate money to redo the voting machines, and then the health insurance. At rest of it, let's put it in a rainy day fund, and we'll decide what we can do with it later on. Because we're not going nowhere right now.
I'm me, as long as I know where to go. Yes, we do, 16.
You'll have the final draft ready for the first reading and the next court meeting, and what we'll have in it is last year's budget with the 3% increase, the voting machines, and we'll leave the rest in a rainy day fund.
Okay.
Charles?
Yeah, I just want to stress the importance of getting that generator hooked up. Because if we have a disaster of any kind and power goes out over there, we're dead in the water. We won't have any equipment to operate with.
Because the sad part about this generator out
Insurance
here
and the
at
voting
this
booth.
facility was
the
supposed to be
generators
for 911 that we spent 250-some thousand on, and then we moved them over there and they don't have the capability of having a Generator.
Can't they tap in this big generator we got sitting out here, big as a bulldozer?
I think they said it's more expensive to
Yeah,
do
we-
that than to
we-
do one by itself.
We can, but it'll be $75,000 to
Tap
run it.
into it?
Yeah.
Tap into it?
The 18 to,
It's big enough to run the whole town, looks like.
The reason it was supposed to be here is because 911 was upstairs at the time. That was what it was for. Then they move over there and they've lost their backup power, their generator.
Look like they can run a wire from here over there and tap into it.
$75,000.
$75,000 to run a wire?
What are we looking at?
18,000.
It was 18,000 for the generator. Well, let's include that then in our initial thing here. I don't have a problem with that.
See, boys, we're already getting closer.
Pardon?
We're already getting closer, boys. Let's keep it talking.
3 out of 5.
We got 3 out of 5.
So we do take
What'd you say,
$28,000 for redoing the voting booths, $39,000 for the health insurance, and $18,751 for the generator.
Say that there. Say it on, speak up.
Kenneth, I don't know how y'all's districts are. I know they've got me spread out from DeLorme all the way over here to Pikeville right now. And after the commissioners go through, it'll be almost half the county. You know, I know we're having a hard time with, I'm short, I just got 4 men.
Wait, he needs to hire another man.
Yeah, Hillman's 1 man down from the 5.
From the 5.
He needs, we're in the process of hiring one right now. But he's still saying that you'd like to have that 6th one back, correct?
Well, you know, John said 20 years ago we operated on 5 man, but when I first started, we only went to Meat House, and that was our district. Now, it's all the way over here to,
Golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference, John, in 20 years, you know. Every time they've went
Redistrict.
ahead and done the redistricting, they just keep moving District 5.
Well, like you and Leo and Kenneth, because both of them are coming to Pikeville too, work with maybe Magistrate Anderson, that if he's around in those areas, because it's close to him, if he would care to have his crew to
It's hard
cut some weeds.
It's hard to do that because I guess he stays busy too. And he ain't got much equipment to work with anyway, have you, Jeff?
No, I know, there are some times that your guys will call our guys. Yeah. We've had some problems, to say the least.
But we just do the best we can do, and might get us a weed whacker if we have to.
Buy a bunch of goats.
Right now, I guess the 3 things, 911, the insurance, and the voting machine, take care of those, like Molly said, put the other one in the rainy day fund, figure out what we're gonna do.
All right, I think we're done here. Anybody, anything else?
Do we want to do a first reading next Tuesday or wait?
No, let's have it next Tuesday.
Have it by June 1.
Yeah, let's have the court meeting next Tuesday, regular schedule. John will have everything ready. We'll have the first reading, and then we gotta have the second reading sometime in June, and we're good. Yeah, we're good.
But this is the hardest place I ever figured out in my life. we got a good budget. They come over and start talking, oh, it's in bad shape. So I don't know, you know, where we're going. I've heard that for 20-some years. We got a good budget one day, and the next time we turn around, it's in a hole. I don't know.
All I know is I've been a part of 3 of them, and this is the first year, like I said earlier, that it's been very optimistic. I mean, yeah, the last couple of years, it's been really, really tough. To know that we're done with this year's budget here in 3 minutes is a blessing. If anybody else ain't got anything, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I don't.
Can I ask a question? On the raise, you said if we can't give the men a raise and bring a man back both, and it's been 10 years since the men's they got one raise in 10 years, is that what you said, in 09?
8 years.
8 years. I don't know what.
I mean,
I don't know what year past that it was.
because I heard that talked about a lot of the men, but as Hillman said too, his district is tough, and that's something maybe they look at, maybe you can't, but road mileage ought to be something you look at, because one district has got a tougher deal than others. And we've been fortunate to have the fill-in road foremen. We got 4 of them, and they perform a job as well as they did before. They run a grader, run a truck, or whatever. So their bosses has been doing the work that we used to have a labor for. So they've really kicked in and helped a lot in the budget by performing the work that was done by the laborers before the foremans are.
Most of the foremans always work, Jack. Most of them. You know, they'd always go out and help work. I know Randy did. Randy worked hard as
Yeah,
the men
Randy did, I'll grant that.
Yeah, had a lot of surgery.
I think we had a motion to adjourn on the floor, Judge. I didn't hear a second, though.
I'll second that motion.
Who made the first, who did the first?
Jeff did.
No, we're
Motion
adjourned.
to adjourn. Roll call there.
The judge tells me when to call the
Oh,
roll.
okay.
You shut it up.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
I like that.
Master Johnson, Master Murphy, Master Robinson,
Yes.
Master Dotson, Master Barney, Judge Deskin.
Yes.